Hello, this is Angela with today's wisdom. The laptop got done loading this stuff. It looks like it's working, but it's been glitching on me. So the last video wouldn't take. Let's hope this one does. um, Today's wisdom comes from Daily Ohm. Becoming your parents. Generate your own patterns. Heredity plays a role in almost all human development, whether physical, mental, or emotional, and it certainly does. We tend to look like our parents and are subject to the same sensitivities they have, like, allergies, things you like, things you don't like sometimes. We may even be predisposed to certain behaviors or preferences. As we grow older, we become increasingly aware of the traits that exist within us and the clear history of the traits of our mothers and fathers. Our response to this epiphany depends on whether the inclinations, tendencies, and penchants were inherited from our forebears are acceptable in our eyes. Because sometimes they're not. Sometimes you're like, oh God, I just sound like my mom. And you don't want to sound that way. And sometimes, you've inherited things that are good and they're helpful to you. We may honor some of these shared traits while rejecting others. However, there is no law of nature, no ethereal connection between parents and children that states that the latter must follow in the footsteps of the former. And there's certainly not. You're your own unique creation, uniquely made up from half your dad's and half your mom's DNA, given the spark of life by God, and, you're a new creation. Everyone is unique. I'm sure you've heard the little snowflake analogy, but you are. So if your parents were some ways you didn't care for, you can change that. And you can choose to pick up on things that they were, positive about, and you can work on those. Excuse me. Mm-mm-mm. We are each of us free to become whoever we wish to be. And you are in charge of you. Once you are an adult, you are in charge of you. When we accept that our parents are human beings in possession of both human graces and human failings, we begin to regard them as distinct individuals. And I had to do that. I did not have the best childhood ever. But my parents both had apologized and said they did what they thought was best, or they did the best they could. And if they had to do it over again, especially my mother said this, there would be things done differently, and she would have, tried to get herself some help before she did, to make things different. So I've accepted that. I've forgiven them, for myself more than, for them, but, they were okay to hear it. But sometimes, there's a big rift between parents and children. And sometimes, it's okay to remove yourself, especially if the person is toxic, and not participate in the relationship. That's okay. That is well within your right to do. And by granting mothers and fathers personhood in our minds, we come to realize that we, too, are autonomous people and in no way destined to become our relations. Because that's a mindset. If you think you're going to be this way, then you are going to be that way. You have power over your own decisions. So exercise it. While we may have involuntary integrated some of our parents' mannerisms or habits into our own lives, conscious self-examination will provide us with a means to identify these and work past them if we so desire. And there are a lot of people who never desire to work their issues out. They have no desire to work past it. This is me. This is who I am. Deal with it, blah, blah, blah. Well, okay, if that works for you, let me know how that works for you, because it's not going to work for you. You might find someone who's as miserable as you are, and you can cohabitate miserably. But in general, it's best if we purge, take out the garbage, get our stuff sorted out, and then we can be the best person that we can be. We can then unreservedly honor and emulate those aspects of our mothers and fathers that we admire without becoming carbon copies of them. Though many of the tempers and temperaments that define you are inherited, you control how they manifest in your life. And that's a fact. You can't say, well, my dad was like this, so I'm like this. No, you have free will. You have a choice. The patterns you have witnessed unfolding in the lives of your parents need not be a part of your unique destiny, because they don't have to. You know, I know you've heard the saying, stop the cycle. That's what it means. If there was a cycle of abuse in your family, you can stop it. You can say, no, this is not going to happen from now on in my family. I'm not going to do that. You know, I'm telling my kids not to do that. So, you know, you can be the change you want to see in your family. You can learn from the decisions they made and choose not to indulge in the same vices. And that's why people tell people, I think everyone who is going to have a kid should go to parenting classes. You know, as soon as you're pregnant, you know, you and the father go to parenting classes. And me and my husband went because we knew our parents didn't exactly have it down. So we wanted to know how to do it right. So we went to parenting classes at our, you know, local community center to learn how to do it right, you know. And like I say, you know, you are in control of your life. You can learn from the decisions they made and choose not to indulge. Their habits need not become yours. But even as you forge your own path, consider that your parents' influence will continue to shape your life, whether or not you follow in their footsteps. Because you can't go back in the past and erase anything. So everything that affected you is going to affect you. So it's going to impact your life in some kind of way. But it's up to you to choose whether that's going to be negative or positive. You can take something that was definitely negative, and you could either dwell on it and let it keep being a negative in your life, or you can take something that was a negative and turn it around and turning it into something positive, you know. Throughout your entire existence, they have endeavored to provide you with the benefit of their experiences. How you make use of this profound gift is up to you. So, excuse me, when you're out there in the world, you don't have to become your parents. And if you feel yourself becoming your parents, and that's not a good thing in your own mind, you can stop that and, you know, be yourself. So, you know, if there were patterns in your family that were not the best and you don't want to continue those, stop those patterns, don't generate the patterns, and make your new patterns for yourself and your family. Think about it. That's all for now.